Hi again, this is section 9.1, second video. So we're going to talk about this U.S. rule. The U.S. rule says that we're going to use 365 days per year for our calculation. And sometimes you'll be told to use a 360-day year. And that's just, straight 30 days per month, which we know isn't quite accurate. And so we're going to calculate this loan. It is for $14,000. It's a 90-day loan at 11% interest. So on the first one, we're going to calculate using 365 days. I meant to change colors. So $14,000 times 11%, that would be 0.11 in decimal form. And then 90 days out of 360, that's really just the fraction 1/4. So we calculate that and we find that the amount of interest is $385. Okay, so that's our first calculation. And then our second calculation looks almost identical. The only thing we're changing is we will put 90 days over 365. So we're using a 365-day year, which is the U.S. rule, and that amount of interest, I'm going to say I equals, is 379.73. And 90 days is about 3 months, and so that would be the amount of interest for this particular loan. All right, so for partial payments, we calculate the interest. We take, and it tells you the remainder of the payment is principal. We take the principal, to find the principal, we take the total paid minus the interest portion. The new balance will be the previous balance minus the principal portion of a payment. Every payment's made up of two parts. One part is interest, one part is principal. And so the principal amount is what reduces our balance. As we pay payments and pay the principal, we get to reduce the balance sum. All right, so for this loan, it says Mary borrowed $28,000 at 10.5% interest for 120 days. The lender uses a 365-day year. How much interest will Mary owe on the maturity date? So for this question, we will have $28,000, and that's at 10.5%, so that's 0.105 times 120 over 365. All right, that's our interest, and that's equal to $966.58. So that's how much interest we would pay for a 120-day loan, which is about 4 months. On this one, it says assume Mary has some extra cash and instead pays $9,000 on day 27. That's 27 days after getting the loan. Then the balance on day 83. And so it says to fill in the blanks. That's 83 days after getting the loan. We're going to fill in the blanks on the next slide. And the next slide looks like this. It has this chart. Sometimes the chart is handy because it helps you understand where everything's going to go. But we're going to do a little bit of calculating on this first slide, and then we'll kind of fill in the blanks. All right, so the loan was $28,000, and it was at 10.5% interest, so 1.105 again. She paid a payment, or she paid $9,000 on day 27. So for 27 days, this is how much interest she would owe. $217.48. Right, that both of these are interest. I'm going to go ahead and put the I out here. For the second calculation, she paid a payment on day 83 days after getting the loan. But remember, she paid on day 27 also. So now we have to figure the interest just for the 83 days. Let me scoot this down a little bit. So 83 minus 27 would be 56 days. So my second calculation will be for 56 days, because that how much interest did you pay starting on day 28 through day 83, and that's for 56 days. So I equals $28,000 times 0.105, and then it's 56 over 365. So the interest for 56 days, which, let's see, that's a little more than double the number of days from before. Oh shoot, we've got to go to the chart. We can't use 28,000 because we haven't reduced the balance. So we have to take this and put it on the chart first. So we had to pay $217.48. We can't figure it on the same amount because we just reduced it by a $9,000 payment. So if we paid $9,000 and we also have to pay that $217 in interest, then only the difference between those two is going to go towards our principal balance. So we only get to subtract $8,782.52. Right, we're going to subtract that from the $28,000. I'm just going to write that up there. 8,782.52. And then we will owe now $19,217.48. So the difference in these days is 56. So we have to use that now, the 19,217. I was getting carried away here and just starting to calculate on this previous slide. And then if I do that, I'm going to be messed up, right? So we calculate on 19,217.48. It is, it's more than, let's see, 27 times 2 is 54. So it's more than double the days. But our principal amount has reduced, and so when we calculate this one, it's $309.59. So that's the amount of interest for the 56 days, only the 56 days. And so she's going to pay, let's see, it's pays then the balance on day 83. She's going to pay this loan off. Now this gets tricky, so you're going to have to be sure and practice this to understand. So she's going to pay the full amount of the principal off. We just calculated $309.59. This number is the amount of principal left to pay, which was our former balance, so it's $19,217.48. So for this part of the loan, we are going to add these two together, and that's going to give us our total payment. So to pay the loan off, right, we're going to have to pay $19,527.07. Now, a couple of interesting things here is just how much did we pay off. So on this loan, here's our total payments that we made, $28,527.07. The total amount of interest we paid was $527.07, which would make sense because our original principal amount was $28,000. So that's just kind of showing how those numbers work out. And it's good to verify that. Okay, and this is the last slide of this video. I think it's just kind of a funny thing. I like to put some quotes and things on my PowerPoint sometimes. So success is not always what you see. And I guess I'll talk to you again on the next section.